Microsoft, they announced that they're going to be working with AMD for their future consoles.
This
And
is
when you say consoles, like they don't just mean your Xboxes as you would normally think of them, like a Series X. They announced recently their mobile gaming hardware. What is it called? The Asus ROG Xbox Ally X or something. It's got a long name, but they're partnering with AMD using their technology going forward to help power their future hardware. Okay, you sound like you want to drop some truth on me, so I'm gonna let you.
all right. They've been working with AMD this whole time. AMD's been making the chips for the Xbox this whole time. Like,
But they haven't been working side by side. Like they've
they
made
had
the
to have
chips,
been.
right?
They had to have been. Like AMD
Apparently
literally goes on
not.
stage every year and talks about how they're making chips with PlayStation and Xbox. That's the whole thing.
Well, but this time around, they're not just making it for the Xboxes as we know them. They're making it for whatever Xbox hardware comes down the line. Weren't you the one talking about how much you loved the Xbox handheld stuff like last week?
But that's the thing. That's why the thing. My problem with this, like this the video that they put out, this news, is that it's not news. Like this is like, of course, it's gonna be AMD making the chips. Who else would it have been? They've been the ones doing it the whole time.
But a chip is just a portion of, like, I don't know what goes into making a fucking Xbox, okay? But a chip is like a portion of the hardware that goes into it. Xbox develops their hardware internally using the chips that AMD provides, and obviously there's a collaboration there. But now they're making clear that they're going to be working closely together. And when you start from the ground up with maybe that chip in mind, maybe it changes how you approach these things. You know, I don't know. I'm not a fucking nerd. I don't know these things. But obviously they do, and they feel passionate about it, and they want to let us know that they're working closely together. And I'm going to wait for someone like Digital Foundry to come in and tell me what this means, because right now, like, cool, guys, you know? I'm happy y'all are getting along.
This to me sounds like McDonald's coming out and saying, "Hey guys, announcement: we're having a partnership with Coca-Cola. we're gonna start working with Coca-Cola." It's like, hello.
I thought you were gonna say like, "Hey, we've got cows on our side now. We're closer with those guys. We're chill.
We're actually gonna start using beef in our hamburgers now." Like, what are we?
No, I mean, obviously, like, there's some. I mean, who knows how much of this is just like marketing gobbledygook? But
it's
like,
always gobbledygook.
But like, what is the, like, if AMD is already making the chips for Xboxes, what advantage do they gain by going publicly like, hey, we're doing this? Like,
what they're doing right now. What they're doing right now is what it's similar to what they've been doing for the past like 4 or 5 years. They're pretty much just coming out and saying like, hey guys, it might look like we're about to, shut down Xbox, at least in terms of hardware. But we're going to be making more hardware. We promise. We're going to be making more, and I believe them. They are going to be making more hardware. And there's
I mean, we should mention that this lines up with their recent initiatives, which is like your Play Anywhere stuff, like having a delocalized Xbox, basically. And so it makes sense. Like, the messaging lines up with the idea that they're moving away from a traditional console space, and they're kind of doing their own thing. So if you want to look at it as them just reiterating that, then you could see it that way too.
And that's pretty much what it is. They're like they're reiterating things that they've already said for the past 2 years. Like they're basically like just going further. Like they're just talking more about this future of Xbox, which is they're pretty much all just going to be pre-built PCs and handheld PCs that have multiple stores on them and Windows. Like that's
exciting.
That's what this is, which is cool.
Exciting.
That's what the Xbox Series X should have been, and the Series S should have. Bro, when they announced the Xbox Series X back in 2019, and they showed
the fucking Steam Deck didn't exist when that came out. Like,
that's true, but
we're in a different landscape. You know,
when they announced that thing, especially just because of the build of it, like the tower look of the Series X, I thought that's exactly what, like, I thought that they were doing this. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. You know what I mean? They're gonna have like a pre-built PC basically, and it's gonna have Windows and it's gonna run Xbox games, yada yada yada. Like
Mhm.
it's such an obvious move to me. It's so like, of course, it's a great idea. It's a great idea. I think it's a great idea, but it's like this the way that they're. I guess it's more the reaction, but that I'm seeing online for this thing as if like
You're mad that people are happy. Is that what I'm getting?
I'm mad that people are reacting to this as if it's news and not like them reiterating something.
Well, it's
Like
a commitment.
a deal with AMD.
Well, okay, but here's the
What?
thing. Here's the thing. We've talked so much about how much we hate Xbox messaging, right? Like how mixed their messaging has been, how wishy-washy they are, how they said,
Manipulative.
"Oh, we want Xbox games to be on Xbox," and then not doing that. So isn't it a little bit refreshing to see that they are announcing a commitment to partner with this company to make powerful hardware in any space? Like at least they're like charting a course, like they are coming out and saying what they plan on doing and kind of putting their foot down in a sense about it, right? Like because that's been the whole thing. Xbox has shitty communication, and so maybe if they do have to put out a video to say, hey, this is what we're doing, maybe we should kind of applaud them for at least telling us, because in the past they've lied about stuff and miscommunicated. So this is a step in the right direction.
It is a step in the right direction. I think the action of it is a step in the right direction, but the way that they put this out just feels very manipulative.
How is it manipulative?
Because
Well,
they don't
okay, I
even
get
say it like
a little
for
bit.
instance with the AMD thing, right? It's not them
Right.
saying we're continuing our
I
partnership
think,
with AMD.
but I think they have said that. Let's see. I'm reading through the Polygon article right now.
Okay.
Um. Oh shit! No, I'm not. I'm reading the fucking Marathon article. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it seems like during the video they don't mention that they've worked with AMD in the past, which is it's a little funky to insinuate that they're just establishing a partnership with them. A little weird. They should mention that they've helped with other Xboxes. Um, but it's marketing. It's marketing. That's all it is. It's all just them saying what they're doing and hey, here's AMD. We're working with them, and then that's like 20 seconds, and then the rest is like, hey, get hyped for new Xbox hardware in the future.
I think something that just, and this is me going into just like more just annoyed territory. I'm not even gonna like pretend that this is like unbiased.
I thought we were already there.
I think I don't like how Microsoft comes out and it's like they have this perception, this underdog thing going on since they're losing so bad.
No. You have a very skewed viewpoint.
What they're losing really badly.
No. They are, but I don't think they're approaching it in an underdog manner. Because okay, say what you're gonna say, and
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me try. So I think it's we're communicating with you guys on what we're doing, like, and it's like you're saying nothing, and it's like they get applauded for saying the simplest like nothing news for like,
well,
why
it isn't nothing. Like I said earlier, if they build their next gen hardware from the ground up with AMD, like there's going to be a material difference, especially since they're planning on making mobile hardware. I think if people said, hey, Xbox is developing a mobile device, be like, okay, well, good luck to them. But if you said, hey, Xbox is partnering with AMD on a mobile device, the guys who made the ROG Ally X, the thing that's 2 times stronger than the Steam Deck, you'd be like, oh, cool, like that'll be better than if they just did that stuff on their own. Like there's definitely like, obviously there's the perception side of it where they want to look good by saying what they're doing, but there are material differences that are going to be made because of this stronger partnership, I believe. And obviously there's no evidence to that until they actually come out with anything. But with a company like AMD, who's continually like improving on their hardware, I think there's reason to believe that there will be improvements there and that there are things to be excited about. What's funny?
It's because it's like, okay, like there's gonna be improvements the same way there's always improvements. There's not gonna be anything that's like extremely, they're not gonna come out with some new tech. Like it's not gonna be like for instance, like PlayStation's in the PS5 Pro, they have their own version of FSR, their own version of like DLSS type thing, right? Like Microsoft and AMD, like if they come out and there's a new thing where it's like, oh, we're making our own custom version of FSR, they're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do it. They're not
Well,
like that's not what's gonna happen.
I don't think
Like,
they've. Well, like I said earlier, first of all, I don't think they've insinuated that they were gonna be like
yeah, they
inventing new
exactly
experiences, but
exactly.
it's this is in line with what they've been saying about uh, the delinearization of Xbox as a whole. Like, it's just them committing to
Ugh.
not do a console specifically, but also do a mobile thing and whatever else. This is just them doubling down on that.
This might be the last thing I say. I don't know, but I think this is kind of like just where I'm at. It's like, to me, news would have been you saying we're not working with AMD, or news would have been, oh, we're working with Nvidia on our new thing. Like, to me, like that's like an
AMD and
announcement.
Nvidia are
They're
they both
competitors.
do the same thing. Yeah.
Oh, but the thing, well, Nvidia's better.
I'm not even
But
talking about power. I'm just talking about they both,
but I'm just
make
saying it would have
graphics
been
cards and shit.
news because it's different. Like if you tell me like a few months ago, you tell me, oh, you guys are working on new hardware, like you're gonna continue to make hardware, right? Yeah, like AMD, yeah, like it's just like it's duh, of course, like
But that's the thing. Like, they've been so bad in the past with communicating that stuff. Then what's the harm in them being like, "Hey, this is what we're doing"? Because that's what people don't like about
well,
Xbox, is that they're going in 20 different directions and they can't pick a path. This is them saying, "This is what we're doing."
but Xbox has said this thing. Like they've said they're making hardware many times. They've been saying it since I want to say 2023, but 2024 I know for sure. Like they've been saying that they're going to make hardware, they're going to make a handheld. Like we've heard this being like echoed. Like this video, this AMD video that they put out, it's like there's here's where I would let it slide, right?
Oh, thank God. Oh.
No, if they would
Failure off the hook.
no, I would let it slide. No, if this video had been in the showcase, it would have made sense to me. Like if it would have
Okay,
been
sure.
if it would have been during an AMD like panel or showcase. You know what I mean? Like if like just to say like in the you remember at the PlayStation, it was PlayStation Future of Gaming 2020, yeah, 2020 or whatever it was, where like PlayStation started it off with
So
with
the Last of
Rockstar.
Us 2 one? Oh,
No. It was the one where they showed the PS5 for the first time. And
Oh,
it
okay.
started off with Rockstar, and then like it was a Rockstar logo, and then it
Oh,
was
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
that was funny. Yeah, I remember that.
And they came
Rockstar. Oh, yeah, the one that came out 10 years ago. Yeah.
yeah, and they were pretty much just saying, hey, like, us and Rockstar, we're friends, and we're gonna continue to be friends,
Mhm.
right? Like it wasn't even that one was like kind of special because that their next game is like, but whatever. If this little AMD Xbox video would have played during the showcase, it would have meant nothing. It would have been okay, sure. If it would have played during an AMD, uh, little stage presentation, okay, great. But it's like for it to come out in the way that it did, as if it's some type of announcement, it's just manipulative in my like. It's just
Well,
like,
it
hey,
is.
like
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if throwing around the word manipulative
it
is
is.
a good thing to do, but
It's only to trick people into thinking that it's actually news when it's not. It's the only reason why you do something like that.
I've got a few opinions on that, but
Mhm.
I um, it seems like the reaction for you, the reaction to this is more concerning than the actual announcement, because people are like excited about it or whatever, which is like,
But
yeah, go ahead.
they knew it was gonna get that reaction. That's why they did it. Like that's the whole
Who
thing,
hurt you, Bryson?
bro.
Who hurt you?
Microsoft, and I'm about to put on my my little I don't even whatever, but Microsoft has hurt the gaming community as a whole, and we should all be very
Hey,
critical
hey.
of them.
Once you start talking about the gaming community as if you're some sort of like 100%. Defender of it,
somebody got
you lose all credibility.
I think that like when Xbox puts out something like this, okay, I was about to say when they put out something like this, they should be laughed out of the room, but I just think that like it's nasty movement, bro. It's just nasty movement, bro. I don't like it, bro. I don't think like Ari, like what? Why would you put this out? Why would you put this out?
It's an announcement of a partnership with AMD that they're committed to making hardware with them in the future.
But I think you're. I think a partnership with AMD.
But this is the commitment to. This is them. Like I said, from the ground up, it seems like they're working with them on new hardware. I feel like this is the third time I've explained that. I think they did something to you, and I think talking to someone would help. I think find someone you care about, sit down and tell them who Phil is, tell them who Sarah is.
And, I only want to talk to Phil. Like Phil's the only person that could.
No, they're not going to put you in a room alone with Phil. No. They've heard what you have to say about these people.
That'd be some content right there. But the thing is, Xbox, their direction right now, like where they're moving, is really cool. Like it's a great thing that they're doing now. It's just when I see a video like this, it reminds me of the Xbox from like 4 years ago and beyond. Like, and I'm just like, bro, like, what are we? Not 4 years ago. I'm sorry. Like more like 2 years ago. And it just seems just so like disingenuous. Like I don't understand what we're doing. I don't know.
How no. How is this harmful? Because it seems like you're acting like this is like an act of aggression.
You know, let me ask this, right? So PlayStation, right? PlayStation could come out right now and say, "Hey, we're working with AMD on some new hardware and bullshit," right? Or Nintendo could have said before, they could have said, "Hey, we're gonna be working with Nvidia on some new shit."
Right? I think they did
like,
say that.
They said it close to launch, like when the new shit was like coming out. They didn't say it like, before. It had leaked before, but like they didn't say it like, 2 years before anything came out. Like if it's like, why don't you see why don't you see the other two of the big three come out and say some shit like that? Like put out a video like this. Like why does that not happen?
Because they're not working, like they don't have this partnership. Like
they do have partnerships, but PlayStation literally does have a partnership with AMD. They're the ones that's helping them make the whole PSSR, and that's what they're using for the PS5 Pro. They could have came out and had this same type of announcement 2 years before the PS5 Pro came out. And Nintendo could have had a big announcement. If Nintendo would have came out...
Would you have been frustrated with them if they did?
No, because PlayStation...
Then why are you frustrated with these guys?
The reason, but there's goodwill that's built up. Why I'm not frustrated with PlayStation. They do.
All right, well, that about wraps it up, folks. Thank you so much.
But answer that, like, why don't you think that these other companies that have these similar partnerships come out years before and say that these things are happening?
Well, it's not years before. I mean, they announced their handheld thing like a week ago.
Wait. But this announcement right here is for like futures, not for like the ROG Ally. Like this is for like, things that are coming out way like beyond that as well, right?
Yeah, but I think it's silly to assume that they didn't have this partnership with them as they were developing the Xbox ROG Ally.
I don't know, man.
I think we're all a bit let's take a minute to breathe.
Deep breath. Like Donkey Kong.
Deep breath in. Hold it. And a deep breath out.
Donkey Kong Bonanza.
I want to play. I want to play Mario Kart at some point. That game looks fun. You can ride on walls.
I think it looks really cool.
You can play as a Cheep in that game. I want to play as a Cheep.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know what a fucking Cheep is.
If I see a picture of it, I'll know what it is.
I bet Phil Spencer knows what a Cheep is.
I doubt he does, actually.
I'm gonna fucking call him right now.
Phil Spencer.
Find his address. I've been playing Mass Effect. Those games are fun. I finished the first one a few days ago. Solid sci-fi game. Really cool.